Today we have a 2009 Toyota Corolla S. It's got a 1.8 motor, and we are going to show you how to change the spark plugs in it. Something that's fairly simple, and you should be able to do this at home and save yourself some money. This is the 1.8 motor. It's a variable valve timing motor. It actually has about 215 on it, but we all of a sudden came up with a code of PO34, which is a misfire on cylinder 4, which you only have 4 cylinders. Since it lasted so long, I went right to Toyota, gave them my VIN number, and got the proper plug for it, which is always a good idea. And I'm going to show you how to replace that. This is easy to take off. It just held on. It just pops off like that. Put it off to the side. And the firing order on this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Very simple. And this is the one that's misfiring, but you're going to replace all 4 of them. These are held on by a little 10 millimeters right here. I'm just going to take them all out at one time to save me some time. Now, since you can't pull this up high enough because you have no room, no clearance there, you're going to have to disconnect this. It's got a lot of miles on it, so what you're going to want to do, you push down. If it doesn't come undone, push up on this easily, but you don't want to break this tab that holds it down. So all you do is push up nice and easy, and it should pop right off. When you pull them out, you do not have to put them back in the same cylinder, but it's probably a good idea, since they've been there for a long time anyway. And rubber seal fell out. Push that back up. And when you assemble it, we'll put it back in the same area, the same hole. Okay, now you can't put a super long extension down in here because there's no room here. So this is a 14 millimeter socket. You put it in there, and then you got to put another one on top of it like that. So it's a little inconvenient like that, but it's, you know, instead of taking everything apart up there. Okay, once it gets like that, loose enough, I can do it with my fingers. Now you're gonna do this for all 4, so it's pretty simple. Make sure that your socket has a rubber inside there that grabs it. Okay, it's loose right there. Now if I try to raise it up, it runs into it. So you gotta take it apart, pull it up like that, and you can get it out. So you just wanna double check, make sure it's the same, which it is. And we're gonna put it back in the same way. You can see it's held on because it's got a rubber down in here that holds it. So we put it in. You always want to start it by hand. Put that in like that. Put the other one like that and start spinning it. And that's going to be the same for every one of these, so it's pretty simple. Take it down as far as you can by hand. Just tighten it up. And make sure you kind of hold it. You don't want to crack your spark plug. Get it right there. Just tighten it up. Nice and easy. That ought to be plenty right there. Same thing for taking it out again. Now we're going to do the same process for the rest of them. Got to make sure it's hooked in there. Wiggle a little. Come out like that again. Pull it out. Denzos, when you buy them, they are supposed to be preset from the factory, but it's a good idea just to check it. They're supposed to be set at 44 thousandths. So it's right about 44 thousandths there. You just want to make sure that somebody didn't drop it or for whatever reason, but usually they're right where they're supposed to be. So it's a good idea to double check that. When you reinstall the coils, you want to put dielectric grease in there, because that actually keeps out the moisture and stuff like that. Just glue it on each tip, go across there. And you also want to make sure, you can see there's no rings on this one. For whatever reason on this coil right here, it came off. These have to be in place to keep the moisture in that out. So I'll just reinstall that. And then start reinstalling them. Okay, I'm putting the coils back in the same cylinder they came out of. Just slide her down like that. Just line up the holes nice and easy. Okay. Next thing we do is put in the 10 millimeters and tighten all those up, starting by hand. I'll go back and check them, just to make sure they're snug. Before I do that, I'm going to go through and clip every one of them. Just clip it in, listen for the click, just like that. And if these tabs happen to break, you could hold it in with either a zip tie or something like that. Okay, just double check these. We're ready to put the cover back on. These right here are going to sit on these prongs. There's one here, one there, one there, one there. So you just line that up like that, snap it in place, and that's all it takes to change spark plugs on a 2009 Toyota Corolla with a 1.8 motor.